If you really want to be in a better position financially in this life, then you must have these 7 bank accounts I'm going to talk about in today's video. If you're interested, stay tuned. So having a combination of these accounts will help you plan your finances very well. It will help you save for the future. It will help you achieve your financial goals. And most importantly, in general, help you to manage your finances effectively. So guys, listen to me carefully. By the way, if you're finding me for the very first time, my name is Anel Griselda. On this channel, I talk about nesting. I talk about life in the UK as an immigrant. I talk about opportunities for people to relocate abroad, okay? So if these are topics that interest you, please consider subscribing. So the first account that everybody must have, if you're in the UK, you're in the US, you're in Canada, wherever, is a current account or a checking account, okay? I'm sure that most people have this one, but they don't have the other ones that I'm going to mention, okay? So what is a current account or a checking account? This is the account that your income goes in. When your employer wants to pay you, this is the account that they pay you into. This is the same account that you have used to set automatic payments to pay your bills. Like, this is the same account that they take your Wi-Fi bill from, your electricity, whatnot and whatnot. So it's used for everyday transactions, okay? So your income comes in and then your bills go out. Usually most people have a bank card, or let me say a debit card, for this particular bank account that I'm talking about. So it gives you very easy access to your money. So whenever you need money, you can go to the ATM and then draw some money, okay? So you have a bank card to this, you use it to pay, you know, for just your day-to-day transactions, okay? And then we have the number 2 account that you must have. This is a savings account. So I always say that you have to have what we call an emergency fund. So what is an emergency fund? So an emergency fund is a type of fund that you keep for hard times, okay? Most people say usually 3 to 6 months of how much you will need as a household. That is how much you keep in there as your emergency fund. But I think for me, I have gone the extra mile to save at least 6 to 12 months of how much we spend as a family in our emergency fund. So what is an emergency fund? So let's say you are a family of 3, a husband, wife, and a child. And then every single month, roughly, where we take your rent or your mortgage and your other bills, in a month, you guys spend roughly around, let's say, £2,000, okay? So you have to keep £2,000 times 3 as your emergency fund. That is at least £6,000 in your emergency fund where you do not touch. You only touch it when it's a matter of life and death. That money is not for buying gifts for people on their birthday. That money is stuck somewhere. In fact, you even forget that it's there until it is really necessary to touch it. And I'm also saying that you can even go the extra mile instead of just 3 months to save at least 6 months of how much your family needs in a month in your emergency fund. And you can even do much better by saving 12 months. And you have to have this in your savings account. And then with the savings account, you do not need a bank card because, you know, having a debit card that allows you easy access to your money, you can just go to the nearest ATM and withdraw, will make you not keep this money intact. It will tempt you to, you know, sort of like go into this money or touch it and use it for other unnecessary things. So this money, you don't just keep it in your current account or your checkings account, because you go into that account every day. So you keep this one safely stuck somewhere in a savings account that you don't even have a bank card or you don't even have access to that account. And usually with such an account, you have to make sure that you are saving it in a bank that will give you high interest on this. So for me, what I do as well, when I was saving towards this emergency fund, what I used to do was I set up automatic transfers from my current account into my savings account. Okay, so immediately I get paid to go into that account, let's say £1,000 every month. When you finish building your emergency fund, you can do other things, because another thing is, it's not so good to save all your money there because you're not going to get much interest. It will be better to, you know, invest or do other things with your money as well after saving your emergency fund. Okay, so you set up direct payments to help you save the emergency fund, and then you make sure it's in a high yield interest bank account, and then you make sure you don't even have a debit card to be able to withdraw from there. Okay, so that's the second account that you must have. So the third one, and this is for my people in the UK mostly, I would say you have to have a lifetime ISA account. So this is one account that I regret not having. I have said this so many times in my video. If you ask me even how to create it, I have no idea, because I did not do that. Unfortunately, my husband did not do that, and this was because we did not educate ourselves financially enough. Okay, so what is a lifetime ISA account? You can only create this lifetime ISA account if you are between 18 years and 40 years. So if you're above 40 years and you're watching me now, I'm sorry, it's a bit too late. Okay, you cannot do that. Okay, but if you are in between, this is the best time to create one. Okay, so it's for 2 main things. It's either to buy your first home home or is for use later when you are older. So I know couples in the UK here, they were fast enough, they were able to start this, and then through the lifetime ISA, when they were due to buy their house, they had up to £4,000 from the government free of charge. I will explain how it works, okay? But that is the benefit of having a lifetime ISA account. Now, if I would do it or not to buy a house, because by God's grace we've already bought our house, and it's only to buy your first home. So now that you've already bought your first, it's not to buy a second home. So they will not give you that bonus to buy your second home. So now if I do it, I can only access it when I am retired, okay? When you go to the gov.uk website, this is what they have explained. It says the lifetime ISA means an individual savings account to buy your first home or save for later life. You must be 18 years or over, but under 14 years to be able to open the lifetime ISA. So each year you qualify to put in up to £4,000 every year until you are 50 years old. So you must make your first payment in your ISA before you are 40. So the government will add 25% bonus to your savings up to a maximum of £1,000 per year. So that means for each £4,000 that you put in each tax year, the government will add £1,000 in addition. So let's say you got it when you were 18 years old, and then you bought your house when you were, let's say, 25 years old, and each year you make sure you put in £4,000. So each year the government gave you additional £1,000. Okay, so if you saved for, let's say, 10 years, you can only imagine you had additional £10,000 free from the government towards buying your first home. But if you already bought your first home, then you can access it after you retire. Let me also add that you can decide to put less in it, but interest that the government gives you is 25% of whatever amount that you paid into that particular tax year. Let me also add that if you have already bought your first home and you create it, and then later on you don't wait till you retire and you want to access it, there's a penalty that you have to pay. Okay, so make sure that if you've already bought your first home, you only access it after life. So it's good. So for those who want to use it to save for a later life, it says that you can take your savings out of a lifetime ISA when you are 60 or over. You pay a 25% charge if you withdraw your money before you are 60 years old. And then if you die, your lifetime ISA ends on the date of your death. There's no charge to withdraw the funds or assets from your account when you die, okay? So it's one of the ways to save up for later life. It hurts me so bad we didn't do this before we bought our first home, but it's not too late. I can still do it to access it when I'm 60 and over, okay? So this is the benefit. Why don't you do something that you are assured of getting 25% interest, okay? So if you're in other parts of the world and this is something similar in your country, leave it in the comment section what your country calls it, okay, so that other people from your country who do not know will know about it, okay? So the fourth account that you must have is a brokerage account or a stocks and shares ISA account. So if you want to invest in stocks, you want to invest in bonds, you want to invest in mutual funds and other stuff, you need to have a brokerage account. You are not usually able to do this unless you have a brokerage account, okay? It is ideal for long-term investing and building wealth beyond traditional savings accounts. So it's good to invest in stocks and shares for wealth. I mean, Warren Buffett, who's one of the richest, wealthiest people in the world, he swears by investing. And the thing about investing is that the longer the period you do it for, the more the profits, okay? So for me, at the moment, what I do that I am passionate about is the S&P 500. I have said this 1 million times on my channel, and I know that by now people are tired of hearing it. But I'm gonna prepare a video next month, I swear, on how you can do your S&P 500 account. So stay tuned and hit the notification so when I do that video, you will be notified. Let's say to invest in the S&P 500. What is the S&P 500 in the first place? So when you invest in S&P 500 index fund, you automatically invest in the top 500 companies in the US. So talk about Walmart, talk about Coca-Cola, Apple, Tesla, and all of that. And these companies are diverse. They have transport companies, pharmaceutical companies, consumer markets, so many. So it's unlikely that you're going to lose your money, okay? And then they always review. If a company is not doing so well, they replace it by a company that is doing well. And people have become millionaires through that, okay? For me, I invest, and every 3 months, the profit that I get, I do not take it, I reinvest, and I add money to it every single month as well. It's automatic. It goes directly from my checking account or my current account into my brokerage account, okay? So you need to create a brokerage account to be able to invest in some of these funds, okay? So think about it. And then there are other people that they don't want to invest in index funds, okay? So index funds is like a group of funds that you are investing into. Some people, they want to invest in individual stocks and individual shares. Let's say you want to invest in Tesla alone. You don't want any 500 companies, only Tesla or only Apple or only all of these things. You need to create a brokerage account to be able to do that, okay? So that's what brokerage accounts are for. They are for long-term investment in stocks, shares, and funds and all of that. And nobody knows what the future holds. So it's always good that after you save the emergency fund, you do some of these things. Understood? So the fifth thing I'll talk about is having a retirement or pension account. So we all know that pension is a way to save money for later on in your life when you are no longer strong enough to be doing overtime and all of that, right? We also know that the government, everybody is already paying pension, okay? So everybody, before your salary comes, it's been deducted already. You have the state pension as well that the government is going to give you. But usually, let me say that the state pension is not enough to sustain you when you're older. If, let's say, you decide to retire at 60, and let's say God has decided to give you up to 90 years, that means you're going to be home for 30 good years, okay? And the state pension is not enough to take care of yourself. There's a way to predict, if you're in the UK, you're currently working, there's a way to predict how much you're likely to earn when you are on pension, okay? How much the state is likely to give you. I'll leave a link in the description to help you assess that particular, and then you put in your details, your gateway, user ID details, and then you'll be able to predict how much you're likely to make or how much the government is likely to give you when you're on pension. But at the moment, it's about £10,600 a year. It's always advisable that you pay into another sort of pension scheme or another sort of pension account. So the good thing about having a pension account or having your own private pension is that you see already your employer pays 3% of your salary into a pension for you, right, by law. And then remember that before your money is taxed, pension is taken out. So pension is not taxed, okay? So let's say you're earning a bit more money, you have other side hustles and all of that, so you are able to pay more into a private pension or to top up what your employer is already paying. The good thing is that they will take that amount of money before they tax the rest. So in a way, you're saving a lot of money and you're not paying so much money to the tax man, okay? Honestly, I do not have a pension account, but as I am educating you now, I'm also advising myself in my head right now, okay? So that is the number 5 account that you must have. And then we have the SIT account, which is a credit card account. I have about 4 or 5 credit card accounts. And what is a credit card account? So usually companies determine your credit worthiness through your credit score, okay? They want to know how loyal you are when it comes to paying your debts. So they can only know this based on your past credit history. They have a way that they track it to give you a score and then see. Even when you're buying a house, they'll do a credit check to see how loyal you are in terms of paying your debt. If you want a loan from the bank and all of that, they'll check how loyal you are in terms of doing that. And a credit card is one of the best ways to help you raise your credit score to look good in front of lenders. So my advice is that if you have a credit card, make sure that you're only using the amounts that you know that by the end of the month you'll be able to pay it off completely. And then also know that it's not advisable to withdraw cash from your credit account. It's not good. Some people are too scared of having credit cards. It's just discipline. If you think that you do not have that discipline, then fine. I used to have a friend who, if she has, let's say, £1,000 on her credit card, she cannot stay idle without ordering until she has maxed out all the 1,000. If you use a credit card, you're only using it as an aid to build your credit score. Credit card is also good for emergency situations. For instance, I bought this laptop that has helped me so much with credit. So there's Currys, is it Currys or Currys? Currys PC World, right? I bought this laptop on credit. They have credit and they gave me a period to pay for it. My other phone, I bought it with Argos credit card. With the Argos credit card, it was so good. They gave me 12 months interest free. So I did not have to pay interest. And I used that phone for maybe 3 or 4 years. Maybe my first 30, 40 videos on YouTube, I filmed it with that iPhone. And I got it through credit. And I had so much money from those YouTube videos that I was able to pay the money. And remember, I had no interest, okay? And I was able to pay back even earlier than the days that they gave me. So that would also increase my credit score and will make me look good in front of other lenders, okay? So if you think you're disciplined enough, then you must have a credit card account. It's very good, okay? And the last account that I will talk about is having a slash fund account, okay? So what is a slash fund account? This particular one is optional. You don't need to go and create a particular account for that. For me, I have a Monzo account, and the Monzo account helps you to create pots, okay? So I have a slash fund inside my Monzo account. What is a slash fund, right? So this is spare change that you use for other things. Let's say every month you guys need 2,000 for your family to buy everything, and then there was massive sales going on, so you guys were able to save, let's say, £500 that month. That £500 can go into this spare jar. It's spare money. Let's say when you get gifts that you had not budgeted for, you can put these into it, and then these are the ones that you plan your vacations with, you spoil yourself with, and all of that. But I'll say that if you are in debt, if you are paying debt, you don't have an emergency fund, then you don't even need the slash fund account. Well, you can still have a slash fund when you've not finished paying up your house, because that's a huge debt. But with other debts, credit card and all of that, you have to finish paying those ones before you have a slash fund. Basically, these are the 7 accounts that I think everybody must have. Obviously, like I said, number 7 is optional. But somebody is wondering, the money that I'm even getting is not enough. How do you expect me to even have money and put in a slash fund account? That is why I would always be happy that I took this course, because I want to have all these accounts, and I also want to have a slash fund account. I also want to enjoy life. I want to go on vacations with my family and all of that. That is why I wanted to learn a way to, make money online, and Skillshare honestly made it easy. So Skillshare is a proud sponsor of today's video. So for those of you who are hearing Skillshare for the first time, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes. On Skillshare, there's a class on whatever that you want to learn. And remember, these classes on Skillshare are led by industry experts in these fields or in these categories. So you know that you're getting the best information for the best of the people in the game. The class that helped me get a little bit extra money to put in my slash fund jar to be able to enjoy life while still working was e-commerce essentials. It says e-commerce essentials, how to start a successful online business. And I took this class on Skillshare, and the class was led by Tracy Wallace. The class currently has over 63,149 students. Can you imagine? All these people are upgrading their lives. So let's say you're interested in animation, learning how to animate, learning how to design, learning how to cook, photography, filming, how to start a YouTube channel and do well, how to create an online course, whatever it is that you're interested in, there's a class on Skillshare for you. Skillshare has beginner-friendly class, people who are at the intermediate level, and classes for people who are in the pro as well. On Skillshare, there are no adverts, so you're getting the value straight away with no interruptions. So now Skillshare has created a new and improved class system, including smarter class categories, 3 new class topics: creative art, creative inspiration, and AI and innovation, and the ability to find classes by software and material. So new members are asked to share a little about your interest, and then from there, Skillshare will immediately recommend some tailored classes to meet your goals. Okay, so this is amazing. If you don't know exactly what class to take based on the interest that you input on the website, Skillshare will be able to recommend some very good classes for you. So I don't know about your bucket list this summer, but I believe that you should have a summer bucket list. Learn something that you can use to improve yourself. Okay, so whatever it is that you're interested in, Skillshare is a platform for you. The amazing thing is that the first 500 people to use my link, which is in the description, will get a 1-month free trial access of Skillshare. But I recommend that whatever you do, at least take the class I took as well. Okay, e-commerce essentials, how to start a successful online business by Tracy Wallace on Skillshare. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video, and thank you, my amazing people, for watching this video to the end. If you have any comments, any suggestions, any recommendations, kindly leave them in the description below. Thank you so much. Bye.